Welcome to our short film about the new Historic Environment Policy for Scotland. The policy was launched to the public on the 5th of April 2019 and it will be formally adopted on the 1st of May when it will replace the current Historic Environment Scotland policy statement. This new policy has been informed by the What's Your Heritage campaign, where we ask people how historic places special to them should be recognised, valued and managed. It has also been shaped by extensive dialogue and consultation with historic environment decision makers across the sector. The previous policy statement was always intended to be an interim document put in place when Historic Environment Scotland was formed in 2015. The new strategic and high-level policy responds to feedback from stakeholders and the public that they want to see a different type of policy to inform decisions affecting our historic environment. Through this policy we can reflect how our historic environment as a whole should be managed and cared for. It is a strategic policy document for the whole of our historic environment and is underpinned by detailed policy and guidance. It should be read alongside the two new HES documents, the Designation Policy and Selection Guidance and the Scheduled Monument Consents Policy, as well as the existing management change in the Historic Environment Guidance Notes. Two brand new guidance notes have also been published on demolition and on the use and adaptation of traditional buildings. Historic Environment Circular, which also contains detailed processes and procedures, is also newly updated. The new policy, like its predecessors, is non-statutory, which means it is not required to be followed as a matter of law. However, it is relevant to decision making at national and local levels and should be taken into account whenever a decision will affect our historic environment. This could include plans and policies that deal with funding decisions or estate management or other specific topics such as agriculture or energy. It's also a material consideration for individual planning proposals that might affect the historic environment or require listed building or scheduled monument consent. The new Historic Environment Policy for Scotland sits alongside Scottish Government policies, plans and strategies. The new policy document contains 6 clear policies for the historic environment that will inform all decision making. The policy document has been structured to address 3 main areas: understanding and recognition, managing change, and working together. Within each of these areas there are key policies and core principles. These set out Historic Environment Scotland's understanding of how our historic environment should be managed and looked after and explains how they should be applied. The new policy document identifies a number of challenges and opportunities that can affect how we understand, manage and care for our historic environment. We know that decision making has to be sufficiently flexible and adaptable to deal with wide-ranging and ongoing changes in society and the environment. Good decisions will aim to achieve the best possible outcomes for our historic environment and maximise its benefits. We will use the policy in our decision making and the advice we give to others. You and other decision makers for the historic environment will use it in the decisions you take and the advice you provide. The Historic Environment Policy was launched to the public on the 5th of April and is now available for you to download, read and become familiar with. You should start using all the new policy documents from the 1st of May for all work related to the historic environment. The new Historic Environment Policy for Scotland is a strategic document that will guide all decision making for the whole of our historic environment. It is underpinned by detailed policy and guidance and should be read alongside these documents as they support the aims of the new policy. Its relationship to Scottish planning policy is unchanged from that of earlier policies. It will come into play on the 1st of May, after which the Historic Environment Scotland policy statement will no longer be used. For further information and downloadable versions of all the documents mentioned in this tutorial, please visit the Historic Environment Scotland website. Thank you to everyone that's contributed to the new Historic Environment Policy for Scotland and has been part of shaping the future of how we all look after our special sites and places.